Hi, it's Glenn Scrivener from Speak Life, and we're doing line by line, which is through the Bible, a phrase each day. We're going to go from Genesis to Revelation using 366 famous phrases in the Bible in order to give us a big picture of what the Bible's about and to see how Jesus is at the center of it all. You're really welcome to join us on this. You could be a Christian, thinking about Christianity, not a Christian at all. As long as you're willing to think about the Bible for a few minutes each day, this could be a really great way of familiarizing yourself with the world's all-time bestseller. In order to get these devotionals, why don't you subscribe to this YouTube channel and then you'll get the videos each day, or you could like us on Facebook, Speak Life UK on Facebook, and we're also going to do a podcast of it as well if that's the way that you like to get your devotionals. So in the run-up to 2016, we've been doing these Christmas thoughts, and these have been a bit more rough and ready, a little bit more rambly as well. In the new year, the videos will be shot more professionally, not just on my phone, not at home, and a bit more scripted. But these have been ways of getting us ready for the new year. And we thought yesterday about the serpent crusher. Today we're thinking about, "For unto us a child is born." A famous Christmas phrase, made famous really by Handel's Messiah. And as I read from Isaiah chapter 9, which is where the phrase is taken from, you'll probably start singing it in your head if you know Handel's Messiah at all. I'll probably start singing it myself. Apologies if I do. But that's our phrase, "For unto us a child is born." I don't know what Christmas was like for you growing up, but in Australia I remember waking up really, really early, not just because I was so excited about the presents, but because the sunshine was just blazing through the curtains. Christmas is one of the longest days of the year in Australia. And I remember going down to Christmas breakfast, and we'd have, tropical fruit, slice of pineapples and mango, that kind of thing. And then we go to church, then we have a barbecue lunch, and then outside for, hours of swimming and backyard cricket. So often in the northern hemisphere, or rather in the southern hemisphere, so often Christmas is kind of a celebration of your sunny circumstances. But the more time I've spent in the northern hemisphere, and the more time I've spent in the Bible, I've started to think, actually, Christmas is for dark places. Christmas is meant to happen in the bleak midwinter. I'm not really talking about the weather, I am talking about the mood. All the Christmas readings have darkness at their heart. All of the Christmas carols speak of, yes, an otherworldly light, but that light dawns on people who are living in the dark. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 2 speaks in exactly these terms. He writes, "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned." Did you notice the context? It's those living in the land of the shadow of death. It's a phrase that's really evocative. It kind of brings up the Psalm 23 phrase. Do you remember that? "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." You might not know anything about the Bible, but that phrase is a really famous one. "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." And that's what Isaiah talks about, the shadow of death. It's this idea that no matter how successful we are in life and how much we surround ourselves with food and fun and festivities and all the stuff that we do at Christmas, still death overshadows everything we do. There's this icy, chilly gloom that will engulf us all in the end. Death is like Mount Doom that just overshadows everything that we do. What's the answer to all that darkness? Well, the light. But who is the light? Actually, it's a baby, according to Isaiah. The answer to death, the answer to being frightened and lost and alone in the darkness is a child. And when this child comes, he will set everything straight, and he will bring peace where before there was only war. That's what verses 3 to 5 are all about. Isaiah 9 from verse 3. "You have enlarged the nation and increased their joy. They rejoice before you as people rejoice at the harvest, as men rejoice when dividing the plunder. For as in the day of Midian's defeat, you have shattered the yoke that burdens them, the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor. Every warrior's boot used in battle and every garment rolled in blood will be destined for burning, will be fuel for the fire." Here's the future that will happen. When the Christmas child comes, he will bring peace. It will be like the day of Midian's defeat. If we were to bring that into sort of the 20th, 21st century, we'd say, as in VE Day, so we will celebrate. You know, Midian's defeat was the conquering of the bad guys so that a great peace is brought to the land. And that's what it will be like when the Christmas child does everything he's meant to do. It'll be like VE Day. He'll bring in peace. And we'll have this massive bonfire where we will chuck on it all the weapons of war, and all the blood-stained uniforms will go on the bonfire, and we will toast the Prince of Peace, because he has brought light into the darkness. He has brought peace where before there was war. And you think, well, who is this person? Who on earth could do all of this? And Isaiah insists, a baby can do it. A baby has done it. Notice in verse 6, which I'm about to read, how Isaiah flips between the present tense, or rather the past tense and the future tense. He's talking about this child that's given, and it's so certain that he speaks about it sometimes as a past tense thing. Verse 6, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given. You know, Isaiah is writing, 700 years before the first Christmas, but he's saying it's so certain. It's happened. The Son is being given to us, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. You know, here is this child who will come in. And how is it that a baby is going to set the world to rights? Well, this baby is the Mighty God. That's how. And Isaiah unpacks that name, the Mighty God, with three other names. He says, well, he's the Wonderful Counselor, he's the Everlasting Father, he's the Prince of Peace. You see, God the Son has always been indwelt by the Wonderful Counselor, the Holy Spirit. And he's always been one with the Everlasting Father. And he is himself the Prince of Peace. That is the way in which the fullness of deity dwells in him bodily. He is the Mighty God. This baby is the Mighty God. And why has he come? He has come to take the government onto his shoulders. Such an evocative phrase. It's making us think of a great shepherd. A shepherd who sees a sheep who's gotten lost in the valley of the shadow of death. And this sheep is lost, it is frightened, it is perishing, and the good shepherd comes down into the valley and hoists the sheep onto his shoulders and marches home. Who is Jesus? Jesus is God the Son, the Prince of Peace, who is the great shepherd, seeing us perishing in the darkness. And he comes down to meet us where we are. And he hoists our humanity onto his shoulders, hoists our being onto his shoulders, hoists our predicament, our plight. Even on the cross, he hoists our sin onto his shoulders. Even on the cross, he hoists the hell that those sins deserve. So much does he want to save us and take the government onto his shoulders, that he takes everything that belongs to us and he makes it his. Why? So that he can march us through that valley of the shadow and home into feasting joy, home into that peace that he died to bring. And there's that phrase, isn't there, verse 6, to us this child is born, to us this son is given. Can you imagine in the manger there, around the ankle of the baby Jesus, there is a gift tag. Can you imagine it? And it just says, from the Father, with all my love to you. That's who Jesus is. He is the mighty God who became the great shepherd, who took your predicament onto himself, and he is given to you. The Son has been given to you. How could you refuse him? The Prince of Peace has been given to you. How can you remain at war? The great shepherd has taken the world onto his shoulders. How can you carry the world on yours? The light has shone. How can you remain in the darkness? For to us a child is born. To us the Son is given.